I know nothing about tech.
Yeah.
Right? Yet I've been entrusted to run a tech company.
Exactly.
What I do know is people. So I don't have to know anything about tech.
That's it.
I know people.
So good.
And I've been pastoring people and shepherding people for close to 30 years. And it doesn't matter what the socioeconomic status is.
Nope.
It doesn't matter what the ethnicity is.
Nope.
It does not matter what the denomination is. It doesn't matter what the theology is.
That's right.
People laugh and cry.
You found some common denominators.
Yeah. People have joy and pain. People have celebrations and disappointments.
That's right.
And when you have a safe space to bring people to have conversations about that kind of stuff, you realize how much you have in common and how much of a lie it is when the enemy tries to bring in
Exactly.
what we don't have in common.
That's right.
So to be able to connect humanity with a piece of technology that can provide them not only with safe spaces, but safe place
I love that.
to grow as people, whether they're believers or unbelievers. We have a heap of unbelievers that listen to our podcast.
Okay.
They won't listen to a sermon, but they'll listen to a conversation. Because sermons are powerful, right? Like Paul calls it foolishness because they actually shouldn't work. Like there's no sermon dope enough
It's true.
to make somebody give their life to the invisible man.
Such a good point.
Right? Like, I mean, if you're looking at it from a purely secular viewpoint, you're you gave your life to Jesus off that dude's 30-minute talk.
Yeah.
With those 3 points.
Right.
Or this guy's yelling and sweating and you gave your life to Jesus. Or this guy did a slideshow and you gave your life to the invisible man. Like it should never work.
Yeah.
Ever, right?
Yeah.
But you don't get to ask a question at the end of a sermon.
That's right. It's not a dialogue.
Like, hey, Pastor, point number 2, can you, I didn't understand one word of what you said. Like, I heard you, I wrote it down. I don't know what that means. I know we have 3 more services, but can you just elaborate a little? No.
Yeah.
Well, outside of the church, there's got to be places where we can talk.
That's right.
And so here's one of the things I've been musing. There's 365 days in a year, 52 Sundays if we're on a clean calendar.
Yep.
If you get 52 Sundays, that should be 52 sermons.
That's right.
I think that leads to my math is right, 513 days,
Okay.
right? And if it's 513 days, he left us with way more days to talk about those sermons
Right.
than to listen to those.
True.
And if we don't have time to process
Yeah.
in between Sundays, then we don't actually grow. We're taking all this in, but we're not wrestling it down to like, what does that mean for my faith? What does that mean for my finance? What does that mean for my family? What does that mean for my sexuality? What does that mean for my depression? What does that mean for my trauma? What does that mean for my business? Like, if you don't get to wrestle that stuff down, then you have people that have a shallow faith because they never got to really challenge it and process it and talk about it and emote it.
Wow.
But Acts 2:42 says that they went over the apostles' teaching.
Yep.
They prayed for each other.
Yes.
They fellowshipped.
Yep.
And they ate some food.
Ate some food.
That sounds like just the rhythm of life.
That's right.
That sounds like what happens on those 313 days, not what happens on those synagogue days. So trying to just get people in a space where conversations become the catalyst for the anchor deepening in your heart
Yes.
and having faith that is more resolute. Like, that's what it's about for me.